Hello everyone, this is the Bovine Terror, and today is the beginning of Bastilles and Brontotheres, my Dungeons & Dragons series. So, just to give a little introduction, this campaign takes place on a D&D world that I and some friends from high school created years ago that I have been steadily adding lore, stories, and campaigns into to flesh out the world. This campaign takes place long before any other campaign this world has seen, a time before castles, steel, or wizards. We're going back to around 100,000 years ago, well into the Pleistocene epoch. At this time, the world is dominated by a worldwide dragon empire called the Dragon Dominion. Dragons rule with iron fists and powerful magic, and have done so for tens of thousands of years, completely unchecked. But this empire is nearing its end. Change is coming to the world both from within the Dragon Dominion and from forces they have underestimated for far too long. This campaign will follow the events that lead to the downfall of the dragons and the rise of the humanoids. Now, before we begin, I'll need to catch everyone up on what has happened before this episode. I first ran 3 individual sessions with my current players, Tom, Nick, and James. I've been playing D&D for 8 years now, but all of my players for this campaign have either never played or have only played once or twice, so they're all very new to this. Because of the time frame of the campaign and the fact that all of my players live in Australia and I live in the US, I decided instead of trying to alter normal D&D classes, or Pathfinder I guess, since that's technically the version I know how to use, I decided to just make new things. New classes, weapons, races, which I'm gonna call species for this campaign because calling them races has potentially racist connotations here, and simplified character sheets. This made it easier for me to create simplified everything that made explaining and building character sheets easier on everyone. It also helped tremendously to build this world that is very pre-medieval. If people are interested in everything I made, I'll figure out some way to show off all the changes, and if people want more lore, well, then you'll just have to watch the series to learn more. So, to introduce our players and the scenarios that brought them all together. For all my players, I tasked them first with finding food so they'd be familiar with hunting and or foraging, and then I had these 3 creatures called Draken approach them in various ways. Draken are creatures that I created who look like human-sized green snakes that have very small arms with external attachments that form large blades that they use to fight with. They were created by the dragons as small foot soldiers and servants to do their bidding. From here, all the players reacted to the Draken in very different ways. So first up is James, he, him. James is a human rider named Hugh, also he, him, who has a black bear companion named Winnie, also he, him. Humans typically live in Africa, though Hugh is a very special exception as he is very out of this place in this world, which you will find out very soon. They have great ingenuity and they thrive in hot environments. When Hugh saw the Draken approaching, he and Winnie hid among the trees of the forest they were in, and eventually the Draken announced that they had outwitted them, and that the 3 of them would lay down their weapons to negotiate a deal. Hugh agreed to this and settled on a deal to meet Zamhus, their dragon master, as an esteemed guest and valuable humanoid. As Hugh, being a human with light skin, is unheard of in this world, at least for this time, he befriends the 3 Draken as they journey to Zamhus and learns that their names are Finn 1, Finn 2, and Finn 3. So next up is Tom, he, him. Tom is a Neanderthal rider named Noodlet, also he, him, who has a woolly mammoth companion named Furchlos, also he, him. Neanderthals live in Europe, are bulky and tough, and thrive in cold environments. When the Draken approached Tom on a frozen tundra, Noodlet was eating a freshly caught Megaloceros, and Noodlet thought the creatures may be coming for his food. The Draken asked him a bunch of questions to see if there were more humanoids nearby. Noodlet lied to them and said he was part of a group, hoping to scare them off. It worked for a while since they left, but eventually they tried to sneak back and attack Noodlet in the night. Noodlet and Furchlos easily dispatched all of them. The following morning 3 more came and made a deal with him to bring him before Zamhus, who wished to see powerful humanoids battle, and the winner of this battle would receive great rewards. This was also brought with the threat that if he didn't come with them, they would send a large force to attack him and forcibly bring him before Zamhus. Seeing no good way out of this, he agreed to come with them and battle in this competition. Lastly is Nick, he, him. Nick is a Denisovan windbender, like an avatar, but instead of airbending, it's windbending. Named Julian, also he, him, who has an Exobrachiosaurus companion named Baleen, she, her. Also, exobrachiosauruses are brachiosauruses with 6 legs. They are made up for this camping. Denisovans live in Asia, are fast and nimble, and thrive in all environments. Julian found the Draken investigating his camp while he and Baleen were out collecting berries and honey. They eventually said the same thing that they said to Hugh about outwitting them, and tried to make a similar deal with Julian without the unique human part because, well, Julian looks like a pretty typical Denisovan boy. He agreed to the arrangement and traveled with the Draken. After they all arrived, they first encountered a large camp full of Draken who checked up on the groups before allowing them to pass to meet Zamhus. Hugh's group was enthusiastically let in, Noodlet's group was let in with moderate excitement, and Julian's group was let in tentatively and cautiously. They arrived to see high stone walls in an oval-shaped compound adorned with beautiful stones depicting many dragons of many different shapes and sizes. Upon entering the compound, the players were shocked and horrified to find 2 long rows of cages filled with humanoids in dreadful states, but still being kept alive. Unable to dwell on this discovery for long, though, they were taken before Zamhus. Zamhus is a large dragon, old, pale, and battle-torn from his years of war. He's a battered old dragon, but an elder dragon nonetheless, and therefore extremely powerful. His powerful presence overwhelmed the players, but he spoke directly with each of them in turn. With Hugh, he was extremely interested, and asked Hugh many questions before inviting him to a private room with a large feast, all for him and his companion. He showed mild interest toward Noodlet, and expressed his interest in seeing him and his mammoth companion battle, sending Noodlet to a separate feast hall, with many other warriors set to fight in the competition. Finally, and very unfortunately for Julian, Zamhus was not impressed and actually seemed hateful towards Julian, killing Julian's Draken for failing to bring a useful humanoid. Zamhus then sent Julian to fight in the competition, assuming he would fare poorly and then be sent to the cages outside. And this is where we leave off, and begin the first session of Bastilles and Brontotheres. So, now what I would like all of you to do is to, just briefly, just so when you guys see each other, or just so we all have kind of an idea of what everybody looks like, could all of you introduce who you are with your character's name, your companion's name, and then just maybe a description of what you look like?
Yeah, my name's James. But anyhow, my character, he's human. His name is Hugh, surname Jazdek. And he's sort of, he's your typical white Anglo-Saxon European man. He's aged 31. And he's a well-built man, and there are various reasons for that.
Okay, wait, James, hang on. I'm gonna stop you because we're gonna get into backstories later. I just want a description of your looks.
Well,
my name's James.
my name's James, and I look like I probably look like your typical sand person who immigrate to Western country.
Nick, you want to go?
Okay, wait, hang on. You didn't get into your companion.
My companion is Winnie the Pooh, or Winnie the Pooh Hole, I should say. He's American black bear. He's approximately 3 years old, and he seems to be rideable. Like a horse? You can say that.
Trev, you're going to get a lot of views from this.
I hope so.
All right, let me go. Okay, my name is... I can't stop laughing.
Do you want Nick to go?
No, I can do it.
Okay.
All right, my name is Noodlet. I'm a Neanderthal. I'm from the cold land. I'm quite So the kind of look that I am is quite pale, not really had much exposure to sun. So a little bit like me, I pretty much look like myself. So just really pale. So, and then I've got my companion Furchless, who's a woolly mammoth, and saved me from some shady stuff that happened back in my homeland.
Cool. All right. And then Nick.
So, my name is Julian Onzima, and I am an 8-year-old human. No, that's not correct. I am an 8-year-old Denisovan element bender, specializing in wind, as do the rest of my people. I have been thrown out into the world and am traveling with my friend Baleen, who is a little baby Exubrachiosaurus. Baleen is like a Brachiosaurus, but with 6 legs. And what do I look like? I look like a typical 8-year-old, bit thin and supple.
So like you.
Not at all like me. Not too tall, pretty short. I'm only 8. You can delete that bit.
Yeah, I'm not including that.
You may as well just delete name. Whole
Your
paragraph.
character being
All right, all this is not.
I can see why James doesn't want his real name disclosed for the purposes of this this video, so his church doesn't find out.
You could call it a church. So if Winnie the Pooh hole actually succeeds and makes it into the adult film industry, is that going to go?
Wait! I thought that was his companion.
It is. What? Wait. Hang on. This is news to me too. What?
I thought. Wait. So are you saying? That,
Oh, that's your animal companion.
yeah, that's his animal companion.
Yeah. So my character's name is Hugh Justic. That's right. And my he goes by the stage name Homo Sapiens, I should mention. He is affectionately named his American black bear, Winnie the Pooh hole.
So, we start off where you guys all left off. So I guess for some context, Tom, as you're sitting in the dining area where you were first sent, as you start eating some food that's there, a small boy gets pushed in a little roughly by some other.
Don't say it like that.
Wait,
Yeah.
okay.
Keep going,
Granted,
keep
there
going,
are adult
keep going.
everyone else in there is an adult. There's only one child in here. Like it's very striking that there's a child in here right now.
Yeah, keep going. Sorry.
But it's okay, yeah. So you see this child get pushed into the room, accompanied by a weird looking kind of snake reptile thing, but it has legs and it has 6 of them, and it's the weirdest thing you've ever seen in your life. It's not all that big, but it's still it's awkward because it's only about the same maybe weight as like an average human, but it's a little bit taller than that. It's maybe like, I don't know, 2.5 meters tall. So
It's a really tall human. 2.5
Well-
meters.
well, yeah, like weight wise it's about that size. It's just got a very long neck and long legs. But yeah, so they get pushed in and they come in and they sit down awkwardly at the table and they start eating as well. For reference, this is Nick's character coming in. Yeah, the two of you right now are sitting at a big table that there's a bunch of other people sitting there. They all look to be very strong and very intimidating, and you know that you're gonna have to fight through all of them, and it's there's some kind of scary looking people here. Just not gonna lie, there's a lot of very, very strong people with some very deadly looking weapons. Of a special note, you see that there's quite a few people with obsidian weapons, which is a very valuable, very powerful weapon in this world. And so they should definitely be people that you should be afraid of. And then let's see, Nick. I would say roll a perception check while you were in there.
Is that the D4 or the D6 die for those ones?
So for any skill check, it's going to be a D20. So 20-sided
D20,
one.
right.
Perception. I roll a d20.
Mhm.
And then I use my total of +8.
Mhm.
So I get 13 for perception.
13. Okay. Looking around the room, you basically see that there's a bunch of people who just look very, very intimidating, very strong, and you are suddenly filled with a very overwhelming urge of you are afraid because you are going to have to fight these people, and you're not sure how well you're going to do because you're a literal child. So, yeah, that's good. Okay, so then we will go over to James. So you are sitting in a room with another very large feast. Do you decide to eat anything while you're in there?
Yeah, I think it would be a good idea to refuel. So yes.
Okay. So you start eating, and after a few minutes, Zamhus eventually comes back in, coming in through kind of a door in the back of the room that is much, much larger so he can fit through. He walks in and he sits down in kind of a similar looking chair to the one that was out in the main hall. So it was kind of like two pillars with just kind of just kind of like, not really a bowl, I guess, but just like one strip of, it looks like stone that's been carved to kind of look. What's the three-dimensional shape for a rectangle? Is there a name for that?
Rectangular prism, isn't it? 3D.
I guess. Yeah, it looks like that, but it was like shaped as a curve, basically. So
Arch.
yes, an arch. That's a good way to describe it. But yeah, so he comes in and he sits down on that, and he says, what was your name again?
Well, stage name or real name?
I suppose your real name.
Well, my friends call me Hugh.
Hugh.
My
All
fans
right.
call me Homo.
All right, fair enough. So Hugh, I am very interested to know. You are extraordinarily unique, human. I've never seen anyone like you before. Where did you come from?
It is hard for me to explain that to you, but I believe I come from perhaps an alternate dimension or different time.
Interesting. From the future or the past?
I assume that I come from the past, but that I cannot know.
Interesting. Well, that's very interesting to know. Do you have any idea how you got here?
All I know is that I was performing the duties of my profession when all of a sudden, midway through my activities, a portal opened and I fell into it, and all of a sudden I found myself in the forest, bare naked, without really anything to help me survive. I learned how to survive over the last 3 months on my own, and then I met my bear, Winnie, and since then, I have to say that I'm still lost. I'm still not sure where I am, when I am, or where I'm going.
Interesting. Well, I suppose we'll have to talk about this more later. I'm very interested in your life. But for now, would you care to accompany me to go and watch the fighting festivities?
With pleasure, my
Very
lord.
well. Then let's go. So he gets up from is thrown and walks through a very large door. You and Winnie go with you, as does Finn 1, 2, and 3. They are accompanying you at a distance. So you guys go through a big area. You go through a big archway that leads into a tunnel, and the tunnel leads, I don't know, maybe 100 meters or so. And eventually you go out into the sunlight, and you are now standing in what looks to be like a giant coliseum, completely carved out of stone. It's quite impressive how much work this probably took to create. As you're walking in, some of the Draken soldiers bring out some like seats for you and Winnie to sit on, and put you up to the left side of Zamhus, and a gesture for you to sit down.
I take the hospitality gleefully.
Okay. So you guys sit down, and then looking into now that you're seated down and kind of looking into the Colosseum, you can see that there are Draken warriors and soldiers all in the seats, all looking into the Colosseum. And you can see that there's a big archway at the bottom that you're assuming is where the competitors will come out of. Sorry, there's two archways. There's one on each side of the Colosseum. That you're assuming that's where they come out of. So we flash over to, actually before that happens, as you sit down, Zamhu says, is there anything that that the Draken soldiers can get for you, or for your companion?
No, I don't suppose there is, but thank you very much for your most gracious offer.
Yes, if there's anything else that you need, just let me know. So then we'll switch over to Nick and Tom. So some Draken soldiers come in and they say, all right, we're preparing the fighting festival now. If you would all accompany me, we can begin shortly. Do you guys go with them?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. So you guys get up and go with them. So they get in and they say, all right, we'll be pairing you up into different groups. So the first person who's going to be competing is Paho. And a very short, red-haired individual steps forward. She seems like she's quite fit. And neither of you have seen humanoids like this. She seems she's like quite short and stout, but she seems quite powerful, and she is carrying what seems to be a club with an obsidian axe head on the top of it, which means that it's quite a powerful weapon and someone that you should be wary of. The weird thing is, actually, both of you roll perception.
I rolled a 3.
Perception.
You have a
So
pretty
I
high
rolled a
bonus, so
I rolled a 17 with a 3, so that's 20 for me.
cool.
Got a 3 with an 8, which is 11.
Okay. Nick, you don't notice anything else in particular. But Tom, you actually notice that but both of you realize that she doesn't seem to have an animal companion, which is a little odd in this world. Most people have animal companions. So you don't notice anything else about that, Nick. You do think it's strange, but you don't notice it. And then Tom, when you're looking, you notice that there seems to be little red insects that are crawling around on her arm, and you're guessing that those are her companions. So yeah, and then they say, all right, and then the next person to go up is, oh no, it's gonna take me a little while to remember your names. Tom, what was your character's name?
Noodlet.
Noodlet. So they say, all right, so the next person to come up is Noodlet. Do you step forward?
I of course step forward and accept the challenge.
All right. So they say, all right, we'll take you to your starting positions and we'll lead you out in just a few minutes. So you watch Paho get led around to the other side, to like another side away from you, and then Tom, you were led to another little holding area. You get there and they say, all right, do you have everything that you need before you go out? Is there anything that you require before you go?
Do I have my weapons on hand or?
Yeah, you have your weapons.
So yep, I've got everything on hand. Yep.
Okay. So they say that, all right, that's fine. Then we'll begin in just a moment. So as you're standing there, uh, James, you eventually, as you're waiting for a few minutes, Zamhus then gets up and announces to everybody that, he announces to everybody in a very loud, echoing voice that seems unnaturally loud from what you've been able to see him talk. It's just earth-shatteringly loud. He announces that, all right, everyone, to see now who among the humanoids is the greatest of the warriors that all of you could find. It is time to begin the fighting festivities starting with two individuals, a dwarf named Paho and a Neanderthal called Noodlet. Let them come out. He then sits down, and Noodlet, you are led out into the middle of what looks to be a giant bowl, with nothing in it except you, and the dwarf that you recognized named Paho. So you go out, and it's eerily quiet. There's no cheering, there's no like reaction from the crowd. Everybody's just kind of quietly watching, and it's very uncomfortable to have so many individuals watching you without any sound.
Gotta rev up the crowd. Gotta.
Do you want to do anything?
Nah, probably not. Nah, I'm happy. Focus on the fight at hand.
All right. So you were let in, and are you riding on top of your mammoth right now?
Of course.
So you ride out on your mammoth. You atop of your mammoth just completely tower over this very, very short opponent that you're facing. Since she's a dwarf, she's maybe like 1.5 meters, maybe a little less than that tall. So she's a lot smaller than you. You are quite intimidating walking in, being as big as you are coming to this person. The only thing that you can really tell about her that you know is intimidating is that she has that obsidian axe, and you know that'll do quite a bit of damage. So going in, Zamhus then announces, and he says, all right, fighters, commune with each other before you begin, and then begin the battle. So, Tom, is there anything that you want to say to Paho?
Good luck. May the best fighter win.
Paho then says in response to you, just so you know, I don't plan on going 100% on you. I'm planning to bust everybody out here during this fight.
Very well.
Wait, what?
She's friends with the flame.
Oh, we were just reflecting on the fact that she has insects all over her.
Yeah, no, I caught on that as well.
That makes her less attractive.
Okay, so she's gonna bust everything out. All right, got insects. Do I know much about these insects?
Well, now that you're closer, you can actually see them better. So now that you're looking at them, you're not too familiar with insects just because you lived in a really cold area and there's not a whole lot of diversity there. But in the times when it was warmer, you do recognize these as ants. They seem to be little, very brightly red ants, like
So like
almost.
fire ants.
Well, you wouldn't know what fire ants are, but that's kind of what they look like. They look a little brighter red than fire ants actually do. But like just like for out of the world reference, yeah, they kind of look like fire ants, but they look brighter red. And then just in context, they just look like ants, but the ants you're used to seeing are usually black. So, yeah.
Okay.
Let's see. Anything else you want to do before the fight begins?
I want to analyze how many insects that she's got around her or like on her. If there's these ants.
Yeah, roll a d20 for perception.
21.
Okay. So looking as best you can, it seems like you're counting something like 7 or 8. There might be more because they're moving around a lot, but that's at least how many that you're counting. So it's 7 or 8, maybe more. So then, I should also say, all of the fighters that are in there have a little viewing area, so Nick, you can see what's going on outside.
Excellent.
Do you want to
Okay.
cheer me on, Nick?
I don't even know who you are.
No, can you just cheer me on? Don't cheer for the dwarf. Cheer for me, please.
Okay, so with that, I will say,
I'll cheer
Tom.
for you.
Thank you, James.
All right, so
Can you
with that,
beat Zahus and all that, and then just like come and save me?
I will just say, I don't think James is strong enough to beat Zamu.
Not yet.
That's true, not yet. Okay, so yeah, Tom, can you roll initiative? So what you'll do is you'll roll a d20 and then you'll add your initiative bonus to that.
22.
22.
So,
wow, okay.
yeah.
And then so you'll act with your companion because you're a writer. Oh wait, have you unlocked combined initiative yet? Actually, it doesn't matter. You might even if you didn't unlock combined initiative, you're faster than her initiative, so it doesn't really matter. But in the future, I think now that you're at the level you're at, you have combined initiative, which means that you add your companion's initiative bonus to your roll as well. So it makes it even higher. But yeah, we can figure that out later.
Cool.
Okay, so since you act first, you get to go first. So what are you going to do?
So has the battle started?
Yep, the battle's begun.
Okay, I want to. So are there ants on her, or are they like next to her? Like, are they forming like some line defense, or
They're
how
on
does-
her. They're just on her arm right now.
attack her? I guess. There's nothing else that I need to know about her, so I'll roll D4. D4, isn't it?
Well, what are you attacking with right now?
I'll attack with. I'll attack with Virtuous.
Okay. So I think Virtuous has multiple different attacks.
So I think it's. Let's try Stomp. Let's do a Stomp attack. I reckon.
Okay, and also just so you know, Virtuous can do all of Is it? I can't remember. Is Virtuous a boy or girl?
Virtuous is a male.
Okay, so yeah, he can use all of his attacks that he's unlocked when he attacks.
Yep. Okay, I'll use. Yep. So I will go. So which die is it again?
So if you look at the attacks, that Virtuous has, it'll say under the damage what the, like it'll say which dice you use for each kind of attack.
Oh, yep. So like strength and dexterity. Is that the one
Yeah.
you're talking about? Or you talking about something else?
Okay, so if you go down, I'll just highlight it here. So if you go down here to like the weapons category, so this one that I'm highlighting.
Oh, right. Got it. Yeah. Oh, okay. Yep.
So you have a trunk slam, a gore, and a trample, and you get to do all of those. So
What does gore mean? Oh, that's the tusk, isn't it?
yeah, that's stabbing with the tusks.
Let's try trample first.
So what you'll do is
So-
you'll roll a d20 plus your attack bonus, which is a +5, to try to hit.
22 for that.
Okay, so that hits. So as you run forward, stomping the ground, she tries to get out of the way, but does not get out of the way quickly enough, and your mammoth like kicks her and kind of steps on her and stuff like that. D&D damage is weird. Everybody's tough as hell, so she doesn't die immediately. But she takes the damage, so you'll roll 2 d4s plus 3, and that'll be the total damage.
9.
9? Okay, so you deal 9 damage. Alright, so then you can do the gore and the trunk slam as well if you'd like.
Let's go with. Is trample just. So what's. Is trample just like. Oh no, I already did trample, sorry. So gore is with the tusk. Trunk slam is just. Let's do trunk slam.
Okay, so go for that.
Alright, so D20 first. So I rolled a 17 for the D20. With +5, so 22.
Okay, so that hits as well. So then do the damage, which this one is a d6 plus 3.
6.
Okay. So then you do another 6 damage, and then do your last attack if you'd like.
Yep, that's the gore. Yep, we'll do that one. So D20 again.
So while you're doing
Oh.
that, First Los slaps her with his trunk. It's kind of funny.
Alright, so I rolled a. So that was a 9 for the gore.
Okay, and then First Los also stabs her with the trunk. She's able to block. Oh yeah, actually, what was the roll? Accurate, like the attack bonus roll for the tusk.
So that was a 4. I rolled a 4 for the gore.
Oh, okay. So and then 4 plus
9.
5. Yeah, so 9 actually
9.
does not hit. So you attempt. So
Okay.
First Los steps on her, slaps her with his trunk, and then tries to stab her with his tusk, but he's not able to get her with that one. She's able to dodge that.
Yep.
So yeah, and then do you also want to use your attacks?
What have I got? So that's the bow and arrow.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I've got. Yeah, let's try. Let's use it. So,
Alright.
I'll roll
There's your character sheet. It's not in the Google Doc.
Yeah, Tom did it on his own like Word
I've got my own Word document. So I
You're a
don't.
little cheater, aren't you? Making up your own stats, not making them public.
Oh, so happy to share my screen to show that I'm not cheating. Do you think I'm cheating, James?
I assume it.
Just because I got lucky with a few rolls.
21, 22. I know something's off.
Look at my. You want to look at my dice history?
Yeah, see, the awkward thing is that all those rolls he has all those rolls he just did, it is his public character sheet. He hasn't attacked with the one that is private right now.
I can share my screen if people think I'm cheating.
I
So
don't
got-
think you're cheating, so I don't.
No, it's fine. Just go ahead. I'm playing with you.
I'm the DM. My opinion is the only one that matters anyway. So.
Get wrecked, James. All right, so I rolled. So I got a D. So I rolled an 8 for the D20.
Mhm.
So with the +5, so that's 13.
So you fire your bow at her, and she deftly is able to dodge that attack. So you don't hit with that. All right. So now she. Let's see, what kind of fun things is she going to do? She uses her hands and creates a giant ball of fire. So Nick, you
Oh,
recognize this
shit.
as she seems to be a firebender.
Oh shit!
So
That
she
just
gets
rolled.
this ball of fire, appears to be aiming to throw it at you, and then instead does a full circular, like almost like a discus thrower, where she spins around and then hurls the fireball directly at Zomhus.
That's that's Avatar level shit right there.
And it hits Zomhus right in the face, and he roars in pain. And then he shrieks, "How dare you strike me, you pathetic humanoid! What is wrong with you?" And she says, "Well, Zomhus, today just really isn't going to be your day." And then all of a sudden, the side of the Colosseum just explodes, and rocks come like flying off of the
Wow,
side of it.
I'm an asshole for attacking her.
I mean, she did tell you what was going to happen, and you just went for it.
So I slapped her with the trunk, and I stomped on her, and she's sweet.
She even told you at the start of the fight.
She said I'm not giving 100%. That doesn't tell me anything.
She said, "I'm not giving 100%. I'm gonna save everyone."
She didn't say I'm gonna save everyone.
She said she's gonna free everyone.
Yeah, she
She
did
did.
say she was going to break everyone out. Oh yeah, so
I'm an ass.
no, it's all good.
I'll pop that, yeah.
So the wall explodes, and oh dear, I'm a mess. I don't have everything in good places for me to pay attention.
I thought I was about to get absolutely butt fucked.
Okay,
So-
if she had fought you for real, you would have died really quickly.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Where's
Slapping with the mighty trunk didn't work. It wasn't firm enough with the mighty trunk.
Okay, so the wall explodes, and from the wall, you see, all of you see this weird animal. It's something that you've never seen before. It has a really huge, wide mouth and a really fat body with short legs. But it's got just terrifyingly huge fangs coming out the bottom of its mouth and out the top of its mouth. And it, alongside what appears to be a gigantic crocodile and a gigantic snake, all push their way through the wall and start attacking Draken soldiers. The Drakens start to try to attack back, but they seem to be severely overpowered by these creatures that are attacking them right now. And as that's happening, you see a swarm of other humanoids start to climb up onto the sides of the Colosseum and are jumping in, attacking the Draken soldiers from behind. Zamhus gets very angry and jumps and spreads his wings and flies up into the air after going in to join the fight. And as all of this is happening, let's see. Yeah, so all of this stuff is happening at this point, and you see that Paho is now starting to do firebending attacks and is attacking some of the other soldiers, and is just generally causing a lot of chaos. So, what is everybody doing right now?
I fight with her because
Okay.
I sort of owe her for that.
Fair. So you start going around fighting them. I won't have you roll anything for this. It's just general fighting. The Draken are just as weak as they were when you fought them yourself, and you were able to kill them all in like one turn. So you're just stampeding through all of them and hurting them, and you're doing a lot of damage. So yeah, James, Nick, what are you guys doing?
I'm gonna get Hugh to mount Winnie, the poo hole, and remove his shirt and run onto the battlefield to protect the innocent Draken soldiers.
Okay, wait, so you jump. Okay, for reference, you're on like a balcony overlooking the Colosseum. Are you like jumping off the balcony? I'm
Well,
sorry, I didn't make that
basically-
clear. I'm sorry.
I didn't make it clear
Jumping
either.
off- no, it's game. Jumping off a balcony, guys.
Essentially, my bear will be running ahead of me, will jump off the edge, and I will jump after him, and in a really dramatic set piece event, I actually mount him mid-air and then we land together in the battle arena to fight amongst the soldiers, to protect those who I have grown a liking for, and I see them as being assaulted by these revolutionists, and I want to protect the King Zamus.
Okay, so you and Winnie should roll an acrobatics check.
I didn't touch yours.
Why you don't make one for me? You invited me.
What are you talking about?
He's trying to sound like he who shall not be named.
I made a Word document to compile all of my things because I have 3 different sets of information.
Oh, so you get a personal Word document, but I get questioned about mine.
Okay, what are we doing?
You're doing
acrobatics.
acrobatics. You
Please
and
tell me
Winnie's
get a
acrobatics
1.
checks.
Get a 1. Get a 1.
Okay. Okay. What do I do? D20 or what?
Yeah, so D20 plus whatever bonus
One.
each of you has.
1.
Okay. So I've just rolled a 16,
So who is this for?
and my
ability mod is +1 for huge as deck,
Okay.
and the bear as well. Do I need to roll separately?
Yes, because both of you are attempting something flippy.
Okay.
You're also jumping like 100. What is that? You're doing like a 30-meter drop off of a balcony.
Did
So-
he get a 1? Did he get a 1? What did you roll?
For Winnie the Pooh hole, he unfortunately got a 2.
What's his bonus?
The ability mod is +3, however, so I'm still my skill ranks. Hey,
So with you, this total bonus should be +6.
I got a +6 bonus.
So you got
Okay.
an 8.
So that's 8.
Yeah.
Okay. So you jump off and do this, and so you're pretty like ready to do this, and you're pretty in sync, and you're like, all right, this is great, I'm gonna land. But Winnie's not on top of things. So Winnie jumps off and catches his foot on the edge, and is now upside down in the air. So when you land, you're landing on his belly. Panics and wraps his arms around you in a big bear hug, and then lands
Aw.
squarely on his back. You are protected, but Winnie does take some damage. So let's see. Winnie takes 14 damage from the fall. So on Winnie's character sheet, if you could just do like you just put a temporary number to say that you've lost 14 health. If you could please do that, I'd appreciate it.
Yeah.
Hang on, I don't see where you're looking at.
Do we need to sort of modify the Google Doc sheet? Because Nick right now is minusing health from me.
Yeah, so don't change like the maximum health that's already there. Just go in and like put a maybe just next to it put like whatever number you're at as your temporary health.
That's it. Oh yeah, that's good.
Let's see. I'm trying to
Oh,
find your
shit.
thing. There's so many character sheets.
Got you.
Yeah, right there. Yeah, perfect. Exactly what you wrote in there is good. So yeah. Okay, so yeah, so then Nick, what do you do?
I search around me for the nearest exit or / escape.
So the two ways would be either the way you came or into the Colosseum.
What's going on around me in terms of people's movement, and are they all distracted enough that I can just waltz out the front door?
Yeah, so pretty much all the other fighters have decided that they're going to fight the Draken, so they're beating the shit out of the Draken right now.
So you're running away.
So there are Draken that seem to be coming from like where you came in from initially, or coming in to try to join the fight. So that, and then and there's obvious chaos in the Colosseum. So there's not a like great way, but you have options.
Okay. Well, the problem is, I would like to have some friends, and I think my best opportunity to get some friends would be to help them in their Colosseum fight.
You sure you don't want to help the Drax and land on the bear?
No, why would I help them? Some who's already said I'm useless.
Yeah, so remember how I said some people fared really well and some people didn't? So Nick was the one who didn't fare very well. Nick basically came in and was like, yeah, I'm not good at fighting, but I can do other stuff. And the dragon's like, okay, what? And he's like, things. And the dragon's like, yeah, no, you suck, goodbye.
You should have just run.
I will enter the Colosseum with my first priority to be not dying.
Okay.
But you're going into the battlefield, though. Like, with all the soldiers are. Wouldn't that increase dying?
That's true, but I'll stay around the edge, and if I don't target anyone, then hopefully they don't target me.
We can be friends. Nick, let's be friends.
Well, I think we should be friends. Can I go? No. Yeah. Can I see Tom?
Yeah, of the large animals that are out there, the mammoth is one of the bigger ones. Other than the weird creature and the giant crocodile that came in, the mammoth is probably, I think the mammoth's the third biggest creature that's out there right now. Other than, I guess, Zamhus is the biggest creature, but yeah.
So, I'd like to make my way to the mammoth.
Okay. So you run over there quite easily as you are very, very fast. And do you say anything to them as you get out there?
Dude, I say, I don't know what Tom's name is. I forgot.
Well, you probably wouldn't know what his name is anyway, so what do you say?
Say, hey man, wanna be friends?
You know, it's not that weird. You're a child, so that kind of makes sense.
No, okay, actual response is, so he's just like, want to be friends? I'm like, yes. Do you want to help me fight off? We can team up, and we can take down as many Dracs. So then, are their names?
Draken.
Yeah, that'll be great. The Draken.
Okay.
That'll be great. I can watch your mammoth's back. I'll stay behind Mammoth and tell you if anything's coming.
Thank you. That would be most helpful.
All right. So you guys start fighting together. So James, you're.
Can I start tossing wind balls at people?
Yeah, for sure.
At the Draken.
Yeah, for sure.
Toss him at James for dogging us.
Well, okay, you guys don't know. You guys don't know that that's happened. In fact, I don't think either of you have seen the bear that fell about. You found well distracted.
We're too busy laughing at the failed acrobatics.
Yeah. Okay, so James, what do you? So when he eventually recovers and gets back up, and you get on top of him. So now, what are you doing?
Look, at this point, I'm in the arena. I'm in the fight. I see my brethren. They're being assaulted by these hooligans, and it's now my time to show them a bit of brawn. So I basically, I go around, I run around and attack the humanoids who are persecuting these Draken soldiers.
Okay, is there anyone in particular you're going for, or are you running into the mass of humanoids that are coming in?
I'm focusing on, I suppose, defending the dragons who are currently being attacked by the warriors.
Okay. So you start climbing up the Colosseum because most of the fighting is going on at the top of the Colosseum. So you start climbing up there, and eventually you get into the fighting and just start going. I won't have you roll anything in particular, but you.
Oh, please roll another acrobatics. He climbs up.
There's steps, so he doesn't have to do that. It's just for hard things.
Can I do something? Can I do backflips up the steps?
Wait, are you doing backflips on your bear, or is your bear doing backflips up the steps?
Wait, are you commanding the bear to do the backflips?
No,
And you're on the back?
At this point, I tell Winnie, you can go up the way you want to go up, but I'm going to go up in the flamboyant way.
Alright, then yeah, roll acrobatics to do that.
One.
9.
Okay, so you do a backflip, and you do it well enough that if it was flat ground, you do a backflip, but you don't account for the fact that it's a step, and you smack your head into the step. So you take 5 damage. So then detract from your health.
Just for everybody's
Seems to be dead by the
information,
end of the 3 hours.
my max health is 20, so I've taken a good 25% of my health.
Yeah.
Wait, how much is your bear taking?
14. So the bear's only at 11 health right now.
He's gonna die.
Yeah, maybe. Okay, so you guys, so do you continue to try to do backflips after you fail once?
Yes, I think I'd give it I'd probably give it a rest and just walk up normally.
Okay, sounds good. So you then go up with Winnie, and you guys successfully walk up and start fighting. And yeah, so let's see. So you guys all fight for, I don't know, maybe 5 minutes or so. It's quite intense fighting. None of you guys are being focused on all that much. The Drakens seem to be focused on the big creatures, and most of the humanoids are not really suspecting another humanoid to be attacking them. So you're getting a lot of sneak attacks on them, James, and you're doing a lot of damage without them really noticing that you're a part of this. Unfortunately, though, because you are humanoid, there are Draken soldiers who are also attacking you. So are you fighting back against them at all?
No, I say, I'm protecting you. I'm on your side.
Roll a diplomacy check.
One.
You know, Tom, James already rolled the first critical failure of the game, and it was his very first roll that he did when we did our individual sessions.
It's just funny.
Yeah, that's
I got a 3, which with the total bonus of -1 becomes 2.
Yeah, they're not buying it. They start attacking you. Do you continue to not fight them back?
Yes.
Okay, so you are now starting to just take attacks from them.
I don't take it. I defend myself, but I don't aggress against them.
Okay, got it. So let's see. You guys start fighting for a while because James has essentially made himself a third side by himself. He's getting battered a bit. So let's see. I'm gonna say. So, James, you're going to take 8 damage, and your bear is going to take 9 damage.
Okay.
Is he dead
That's
yet?
fine.
No. Winnie is extremely injured though. I mean, they only have 2 health now, so.
How much did James take?
8.
So you're asking me what I'm going to do now?
Not yet. I'm just telling you that's the damage you're taking. And then as Nick and Tom, you guys aren't taking as much damage right now because people are focused on the big scary animals right now. And also Paho is near you guys, and Nick, you can tell that she's a very advanced firebender because she's performing a lot of bending techniques that are in great excess to what you have seen, according to like even some of the most powerful windbenders that you know. She's like at least equal to them, if not better.
I would like to talk to her afterwards.
Fair. So yeah, so you guys are fighting, and eventually, it seems like within these 5 minutes, the Draken are losing quite substantially. And they all start to retreat back inside the Colosseum and trying to get away. And at this point, Zamhuz then crashes into the arena and bellows to everybody in that unnaturally loud voice, "Stop this nonsense! None of this means anything because now you're all going to have to fight an elder dragon." So, do you guys do anything in particular as he says this?
Nick, do you want to run away?
I would like to run away.
Yeah. But can we start running away?
Yeah.
I would like to jump back into my seat and pretend nothing happened.
Okay. Wait, hang on.
Aren't the seats destroyed from the fighting?
No, so they were up on a balcony, like, high above everything else, so they're actually untouched, but I don't know how you're gonna get back up there, so I guess...
heights.
I guess
I
so.
can
Roll a
check.
climb check if you want to like climb on the back of Winnie and have him climb because he's a lot better at it than you. That might be advantageous. But it's up to you.
Climb.
Well, let me consider my options first.
Okay.
Can I sneak away? Is that all right?
Mhm.
Can I sneak back? Go out of the Colosseum and then run up the stairs and get into my seat the normal way.
Well, okay.
Why
So
don't you go back to your seat.
okay. Just so you know, the balcony isn't like attached to the rest of the Colosseum. It seems there's a separate chamber that leads directly into the big like room that you guys were in earlier. So there's not a way to get to the balcony other than like climbing up a steep stone wall to get to it. So you're currently at the top of the Colosseum. So what
I
you
think
can do
we
is
just need to jump. I don't really care about climbing. I'm gonna jump.
where?
He's gonna die.
Wait, where are you jumping? What do you mean?
Jumping from ground level to the balcony.
Okay, so I'm gonna just say you can't jump that far. It's like I don't know, maybe 10 meters up. Like you've gotta climb if you're gonna get back up there.
Okay, fine. All right, that's fair enough. I think we should climb it.
Okay, so so roll a climb check, please.
That's what I'm gonna do.
Okay, and are you riding on Winnie when you're doing this, or are you doing it by yourself and Winnie's also doing it by themselves?
Oh, that is a good question. I think I'll ride Winnie the Pooh hole.
That's a good idea. Okay.
Okay. Now I'm going to roll.
Cool.
17.
17.
17.
Good.
So you are actually able
Yeah,
to
yeah.
scramble up and get onto the balcony again. So do you get back up and just sit down?
Yes, I compose myself and sit down as if nothing had happened.
Okay. So you do that and you just watch. Tom and Nick, you guys start to run out. And as you're running out, someone walks past you, and it's very odd. It looks like they're wearing some kind of weird hide that is it seems like it's very smooth and gray, but it's not. It doesn't have any like. It looks kind of weird. It's off-putting to both of you, and you're not really sure exactly why. But the humanoid that walks past is especially weird because they seem to have really, really sharp teeth. And it's something that you've never seen before, and they don't look like it's correct. There's something very wrong with this person. But they walk past you, and then coming up behind them are all the giant animals that you saw before, along with a big, fluffy animal that neither of you are familiar with. It looks very strange. It has like webbed feet, and it's all fluffy and furry, and it has a kind of what looks like a bird's beak or something on the front of it.
It's a giant baby duck.
Well, it's walking on 4 legs.
A quad duck.
Yeah, something like
Aqueduct.
that.
It's a
Yeah,
platypus.
Yeah, it's a
true.
platypus. It's a giant platypus. But yeah, so that walks with this guy and walks up, and as you look over, you see that this humanoid walks over to Paho, and Paho is currently standing in front of Zamhus. So as you guys are running away, you don't really catch what's going on, but they both stand in front of Zamhus, seemingly to be challenging him. So eventually you guys run out and you get out of the Colosseum, and from here you can see that it is a complete chaos mess. Just it's bad. You can see that there's scorched bodies all over the place. There's just it seems like there's probably hundreds of humanoids and Draken who are dead out here. You can see that there are some Draken that are running off into the woods. There's some humanoids that also seem to be running off into the woods. It also seems like a lot of the humanoids that were in cages before, since they were in kind of not great states, They are all running away as kind of a big group into the forest, with some accompanying humanoids that seem to be armed, trying to lead them away. So yeah, what do you guys do?
So how far away are they from us at the moment? Are they far, or
I don't know.
can we see them in the distance?
Yeah, they're probably only a few hundred meters away. Like, they're not that far away.
Nick, what do you want to do? Do you want to go with them, or do you want to just stay your own pack?
What if we find cover in the fringes of the trees and wait and see what happens at the Colosseum?
I've got a mammoth. It's not going to be able to hide. They're not going to be able to hide. Is there any like height parts that we can hide that like would cover a mammoth of that size?
Perhaps you can join me in the gallery.
Shut up.
I mean, okay, so you could just run into the forest and you'd be hidden pretty well. Like, if you just ran in, a few hundred meters or a few tens of meters, you'd probably get in there and be hidden enough that even the mammoth would be hidden from most of the people there. If they got close to you, they'd probably find you, but at least running into the woods, it would be hidden enough that if they just looked from the Colosseum, they wouldn't see you.
Do you want to do that, Nick?
What do you reckon we should do?
Yeah, I reckon we should run into the forest and try and take cover. Try to be hidden.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm really squishy, so I don't want to get attacked by zombies.
You can ride the mammoth.
Can I ride Baleen? I think
Yeah.
I can.
Yeah, Baleen's big enough that you can ride her.
She's not super
Oh, we
fast.
can both ride mammals.
Yeah.
What species is
Animals.
it?
Exobrachiosaurus.
Oh, that's right. Exobrachiosaurus.
So then, yeah.
Six-legged brachio.
What?
Six-legged brachio.
Exactly.
I'm just surprised that neither of you went into the loft with me to pretend that nothing happened and just whistle.
Because we're not stupid. Sorry. But the Dracs know that you're not fighting with them from the diplomacy role, so they know you were lying.
Well,
And
no,
then
he was telling the truth. He was actually trying to help them. They just didn't believe it.
but the Dracs know that they think he's lying, and then Zahus is gonna go to his fellow Dracs, and then Tim's just probably gonna be dead. But by the time he climbs and does all this acrobatic stuff, he probably will be dead.
I think that's just a presumption. We should let the games master actually decide that.
But yeah, so Nick and Tom with your companions run off into the forest, kind of away from where everybody else is. But yeah, you guys run off in that direction. So meanwhile, James, you are now onlooking this battle that is about to happen between Zamhus and these two humanoids and four very, very large animals. As you sit there, Zamhus laughs and says, so two humanoids decide that they're going to stand out to an elder dragon. Do you really believe that you even have a chance of doing something like this? And they both look at him and they say, and Paho says, we've been training to kill dragons our entire lives. We know exactly what we're going to do here. You'll be the first elder dragon that we kill, but it was no mistake that we intentionally chose you since you've been weakened by your years of combat and your old age. Zamhus seems to be very angry at this comment, and says, how dare you? You think that a lowly humanoid could possibly stand up against me? And then the other one, who you've never seen before, talks in a very quiet voice you can just barely hear. And he says, there's a reason that there are two of us here. That's the two of us are the key to being able to beat dragons. So we're going to do that, and there's not really much you can do about it, Zamhus. At this point, he says, well, fine then. If you two really believe that you're so powerful, let's see what you can do. He inhales and breathes out a huge wave of lightning at the two of them. And both of them scatter and are able to just barely dodge this. And they send attacks back. Paho using firebending to throw fire and do a variety of other things. And it seems like the other 4 animals then very coordinatedly go up and each grab a hold of one of Zamhus's arms, and then pull, which pulls his arms and legs out from underneath him, making him fall to the ground. You then see the big fluffy animal, which you aren't sure what it is, reach back with its hind leg and impale Zamhus from behind. He shrieks in pain, and then his whole body stops moving, and you hear him very, very weakly say, "What did you do to me? What kind of magic are you using to stop me from moving?" And they say, "It's not magic. It's not magic. It's something called science." And then they proceed to just bombard him with attacks over and over again and Zamhus is yelling out in pain basically this entire time, and then eventually stops saying anything. They don't let up the attacks for probably a solid minute after he stops saying anything before they finally stop. His body is now just kind of a mess of just scales and just flesh and bones that are just kind of a big gross pile that are partially charred. They seem to have completely killed him. So at this, do you do anything?
Have the perpetrators left?
No, they just killed him. So are you still sitting there looking?
At this point, I am seriously concerned because I don't know which side I should be on. Because whilst Zamhus had a bit of a temper, these communist revolutionaries have assassinated him unjustly and savagely attacked his body to the point where the funeral is not going to look nice. So I would rather side with Angry Boy. I want to rush to his aid, but I know that these people are really strong. And right now, I'm not in the best position to be throwing my dildo at them. So I think the best option would be to do a pirouette on the spot.
Alright, go for it. Roll an acrobatics check.
Please be a 1. Please be a 1. Please be a 1. Please
Okay,
be a
so
1.
it's been a little while. What do you do if you pirouette?
Well, I just do a few spins around my location. I'm just a little bit ADHD.
But you're sitting
so-
down. So would you stand
Well,
up?
I just get up and do a couple of pirouettes and then I sit down again.
Okay.
That's my plan.
The typical ballet circle spin.
Okay, got it. Thank you.
I might do 6 or 7 pirouettes.
Okay, so yeah, just
Okay,
roll an
rolling
acrobatics
out.
check.
That's not bad.
I get a 13. With, in combination of the fact that I have a +1 ability mod, that becomes 14.
So you spin a few times, pirouette a few times, and at this point, the 2 humanoids look up at you and they say, "Oh, fellow humanoid, are you okay up there? Do you need help getting down?"
No! Just jump down.
So dominance and jump down yourself.
No, certainly not from hooligans such as yourselves.
Oh,
Murderers,
he's
you
dead.
are. You are
He's
murderers,
He's dead.
and you ought to be sorry for what you've done. Does another pirouette.
He's dead.
Okay, I won't make you roll for that one. Okay, so you say that, and they look at each other a little confused, and they look back and they say, wait, were you in league with these dragons?
Oh, No, not really. No. I guess they came to me and told me to follow them. I don't know anything about the dragon.
Diplomacy check.
Okay, so that's not a
check.
diplomacy. You're lying now. So what you're gonna have to do is you're gonna have to roll a bluff check.
Bluff. Oh, +6 for bluff. Nice.
Oh, what?
Yeah,
3, 2, 1.
yeah, James did a lot of charisma, so
I got an 8, which plus 6 becomes 14.
let's see. Do they believe you?
Please no, please no, please. Please no, please no.
Okay, so so the strange humanoid with the weird teeth that you haven't seen before, suddenly looks very like very sorry for you. While Paho, the dwarven firebender, kind of looks at you and just kind of like tilts her head a little bit, and she's just like, "Oh, so you really don't know what the dragons have done to the humanoids, do you?"
I suppose I don't, but yes. If you could tell me more.
So I presume they
Yeah.
told you that they have a worldwide dragon kingdom, right?
Yeah.
Well, how do you think they got that, other than by stepping on humanoids around this area of the world?
I don't think it is a matter of stepping on humans. I think it's a matter of the master race asserting its hierarchical dominance over ours, and us being the servant people of the dragons. That's how nature works. We are here to, we're here to allow the dragons to shape the world. We're not here to be dragons ourselves.
They both look at each other a little confused, and they say, okay, but you do realize that we just killed this dragon, which means they're not superior to us because we can kill them. And also, you do realize you're a humanoid, right? Like, you would be enslaved by them too, right?
Gladly. Daddy Zamus got some good. He's arranged many things for me, and I would love to be the recipient of those
Bless you.
things.
Okay. But he's dead. So how is any of that gonna happen?
I found another daddy. I don't care.
He wants a sugar daddy.
They both look at each other concerned and confused, and they just say, okay, well, we'll just leave you here, so, you have a good rest of your day. They walk out the hole at the Coliseum and leave.
I'm not letting you walk out. You must express your sorrow for harming all those dragons. That
It looks
is
like
wrong.
it's just you and I.
Zamus might be a bad guy, but you can't be harming innocent dragons.
The
Go me-
dragon are created as slaves for the dragons. They're not innocent. They're just as guilty as the dragons. They don't even really think for themselves.
They are innocent.
They're not
How
innocent.
dare you not respect the humanity of them?
They're not humanoid. They're literally not. They're literally created by the dragons. They literally are not humanoid. They can't have humanity if they're humanoid.
They're more
not
human
humanoid.
than you are.
But I'm a humanoid and they're not.
It's a figure of speech.
Just engage in combat already.
Okay, well, we're not going to apologize because the dragons kind of destroyed our lives, so there's no reason that we would apologize for wanting to fight back against them.
Well, that's not my problem.
Okay, so we're gonna leave then. You can just do whatever you want to do.
I will. I will help the dragons achieve their goals, and you'll be wiped off
the face of this earth.
You really want a battle, don't you?
Can I throw my dildo at them?
Yes, you can.
Roll a d20. Does it hit?
I'm shocked you're trying to attack them right now, I'll be honest.
Hey Nick, should we go and help him or just leave him be?
Well, you guys don't even know what's happening. You're running off into the forest. You can't even hear what's happening. You don't even know that Zamhus is dead.
Okay. Maybe it might not be the best idea to throw my only weapon at them. Particularly if it might not succeed.
It's definitely not going to succeed.
How about this? Mid-conversation, I just walk away.
Okay. Well, okay, you can't retract the conversation you've already had, so they're just gonna be like, okay, we're gonna go now, and then you just walk away.
No. I say, no, I'm going first. I don't need this conversation.
It's time to duel!
I'm leaving the chat now.
Okay, so do you walk? Where do you go? Do you jump off the balcony again, or do you walk back through the hallway that you came in there from?
This time I walk down the hallway with my head down.
Oh, what a wuss.
All right, so you do that and you go in there. Okay, so. All right, I'm sorry I've been on James for so long, but you guys are still just going into the forest right now, so.
Yeah, we're just hiding.
Yeah, so James.
Actually,
Okay.
near the outskirts, right?
Yeah, you guys. Well, you if you're gonna hide, you have to go into the forest a little bit. You have to go in maybe I don't know, 10 meters or something like that, 20 meters something.
That's okay. James obviously has a lot of conflict with these humanoids that we need to discuss and address. So
Hugh simply, or Homo, doesn't really trust, has no reason to trust either side at this point.
but you were following the dragon creature. You were
For all I know, Zamhus was a kind monarch, and he was violently overthrown by these communists.
James, you walked into the camp and there were hundreds of humanoids in cages.
They deserved it. Yes, I may be a humanoid,
maybe
but I can at least
change
comment
the
on.
restricted R18 plus for this video. I reckon. Just
I can at least say that they shouldn't even exist. But I am one of them. That's fine. I'll exist. They can die. What suits me is all that matters.
Alright. Okay, so you wander back down the hall and you get back into the main area, and you can see that there's a lot of dead Draken, there's a lot of dead humanoids, but there are humanoids kind of wandering around, picking up any food or any supplies that they can find. And they see you come down. And they say, oh, hello. Were you imprisoned here as well?
No, I wasn't. Why?
Oh, were you one of the fighters then?
No, I was. I'm one of the very important persons who got to watch the match from the VIP box.
Oh.
Corporate
right.
box.
Well, I suppose that's good then. I'm glad you fared better than everyone else. But did you wish to accompany us back to our camp?
No, unlike you, I'm not a ethnic fascist. I believe that, I believe that all people should be united and that we shouldn't be persecuting these dragons. So I'm just going to go walk out and do my own thing and try and find some more dragons.
Okay, so roll a perception check as you're leaving.
And 11.
Okay. So as you're leaving, you vaguely hear some whispers of people saying oh, the poor guy, the dragons must have destroyed his mind while he was in here.
And then I turn around, I point at them, and I say, it is you who has brainwashed. You pitiful prisoner of a sick ideology. Then I just walk off. I storm off, in fact.
Okay. So you storm off, you get out into the main area. It's kind of the same scene everywhere. You get out into the main courtyard where all of the cages of humanoids were, and you can see that all of the cages have been opened up and the humanoids are gone. You walk out the front area and into a battlefield where there's just scorch marks everywhere and charred bodies, and there's hundreds of dead humanoids and Draken. And you don't see much other than some humanoids that are kind of looking through the dead and getting supplies. So where do you want to go?
Honestly, I don't really know. But I suppose what I'm seeking is greater power. And I don't really feel like gaining that from these evil humanoids. I want to find dragons. I want to find, I want to find a place where I can learn magic. I think science is a little bit bogus, to be honest.
Okay.
Sorry, Hogwarts is not hiring at the moment. They're not accepting enrollments.
Okay, you would have absolutely no idea where to go to do any of that. So yeah, do you want to just like choose a direction or something and just go, or
I suppose I'm trying to remember what Zamus told me before he passed away tragically. Did he say anything about another location of dragons?
No. I mean, he said that the dragons had a worldwide kingdom, but he didn't say about any other locations.
And do I have any leads as to where to next go? Can I possibly infiltrate the humanoids? I'll just find another bunch of clueless humanoids and start following them to the humanoid base, and then I will completely wreak havoc at some stage, but I'll keep quiet for now. How about that? And I'll use the humanoids' knowledge to find out where the dragons are so that I can gain the ultimate power and become one myself.
Not a bad idea. Okay. Alright, so you start wandering with them. Alright, so now we'll go back to Nick and Tom. So you guys run off into the forest a little ways. You get there, and so now you're hidden. Is there anything in particular you want to do?
Probably find food or find supplies while we are sort of just going our merry way, I suppose. Nick, have you got any objections?
Yeah, can we hear or see anything from the Colosseum? Is there anything to suggest to us that the battle's over?
You did hear, like, it sounded like a big explosion of magic, like maybe lightning. And then, other than that, you couldn't really hear anything else. You only heard that once, and then it appeared to be silent. You are pretty far away, so you're not, it's not... Other stuff could have been happening, but at least you didn't hear Zomhus doing any, like, big magical attacks.
Should we follow the humans to their village?
Yeah, let's do that.
Okay.
Get a bigger squad.
Okay. Wait, what?
Yeah. Somehow, Huge Aztec realized, hey, everybody's leaving, but maybe I should go and examine Zamus's body to learn more about the dragons before I head off with them.
Okay. Alright, so you can do that. As you guys are going, you incidentally pass by each other, walking by, but you don't know who each other are, so it's uneventful. Let's see. So, James, you go back to the Colosseum. Do you go in the balcony way, or do you go in the hole in the Colosseum way?
Or the unorthodox way of just trying to do a backflip over the whole building?
Nothing crazy like that. I think I'd probably just do a cartwheel through the Colosseum way.
Acrobatics.
Wait, through the hole?
Through. So there's a way to get into the Colosseum without jumping off the balcony.
So there's a big hole in the Colosseum where they exploded it. Or there's the Colosseum like balcony, but you don't know of any other way into the Colosseum.
Okay. I walk through that massive cavity that was left by the explosions. I also just take off my shirt for good measure.
Okay. All right.
Revealing
So
my very well built, not ripped body, but very large and impressive.
So what you've got at the moment.
Sculpted, but not ripped.
So what have you got at the moment? What you've got at the moment, James?
That's very flattering of you, Charles.
okay, so you go in, and as you go in, you can see that there are, I don't know, maybe a few dozen humanoids picking apart Zamhus's body. And, like, taking scales and taking bones and taking flesh and teeth and claws and all that stuff.
Is it my turn to do something now?
Yeah, you come in and you see this scene.
I would like to approach them in a friendly manner and say, excuse me, can I ask you what you're doing here? What's this all about?
They said that, well, dragon scales and bones and teeth and everything like that are extremely valuable, and they're extremely useful items, so we're getting them off of him.
Ah. Don't you think he should have a proper burial? No, I'm not going to say that. Oh. What kind of things can these dragon remains be used for?
Well, their scales are extremely strong, so you can use them for armor, or you can use them for shelters or anything like that. The bones are also extremely strong, and they're good for shelters, or even sometimes using them for boats and things like that. You can use the teeth in weapons. They're extremely hard, so they act almost like if you're using worked stone into a weapon. And their claws are good for weapons as well. They're a little bit better as tools for various things. So yeah, there's a lot of things you can do with it. And then the meat, obviously, that you can eat.
Can I have some?
Well, of course, all of the humanoids are working together here, so of course you can have whatever you need. We'll be distributing it to everybody, but you can definitely have your share.
Okay. I would like to take some of the scales, as well as a very sharp fang.
Okay.
Enough for 3, right?
What?
Enough for 3 people, right?
All right. I just take more than I need because you never know when they might be needed. But can I take some of the remains with me?
Some of the remains?
Well, some of the good stuff, I should say. I want some of the sharpest teeth, sharpest claws, and the plates from the scales.
Okay. So you take a little bit of all of that. If you would mark on your character sheet, I think it's under equipment or gear. If you could just write down that you have dragon scales, dragon fangs, and dragon claws.
Apparently just says giant dildo, but now I have dragon claws, dragon scales, and dragon fangs.
Yep. Okay.
And that's very good. And can I finish off by looking at the other humanoids and gently kissing the body of Samus
Sure.
while they stare at them?
Full eye contact?
Sure, you can do that. No one even bats an eye. It's kind of, no one is surprised at all.
Oh, is that so?
What?
So they're just, why? Are they so focused on what they can gain from scavenging this body that they don't really care?
Yeah.
All right. I take my things and I immediately sprint off, looking for other humanoids who are leaving the Colosseum.
Okay, so there's a whole bunch of people who are like carrying as much equipment as they can from the dragon and from other things they collected, and heading off in one direction. So you follow them?
Yep.
Okay. So you go with them, and so all three of you, with your companions, walk for maybe half a day. And it's starting to become evening by the time you get to a very large camp that seems to have a huge number of like shelters and things like that. It's way bigger than any village or anything you've ever seen in your life. You get there and you start putting things away, and eventually there's a big fire in the middle, and everybody says that they're going to go to the fire and celebrate with a feast. So do you all go to that?
Yes.
I would like to ask who we're sacrificing to the fire gods first.
Please tell me it's James.
So they say, we respect that that's a part of your culture, but while you're living with us, that's not something that we do. We don't sacrifice other humanoids. So we are sorry about that, but we aren't going to do that.
We're so sorry we don't sacrifice you.
And I say to them, that's good. I just assumed you were savages.
They seem a little insulted, and they say, but they kind of just don't say anything, and they walk away.
Okay, now we go to the feast.
Tim, are you also going?
I encircle the perimeter, and I smell some nice scents, so I do approach.
Okay. So you guys all go and gather around this big circle, and you once again see Paho and that other humanoid wander into the middle of the circle of all the humanoids. And they say, well, today we've gained a great victory. We've successfully been able to kill Zamhus, the humanoid collector, and we were able to save the many hundreds of individuals that he and his Draken army have taken from us over the many years that we've suffered beneath these dragons. But today we've successfully killed an elder dragon, which is something that, as far as we know, no humanoid has ever done before. And this should be important to everybody, because this means that we will finally be able to take down the oppressive dragons that have taken over our homes and have recklessly killed us and harmed us throughout our entire lives. So here we lost a lot of people today, but we've achieved a great victory, and we've saved a lot of lives. So tonight, please rest and eat well, and we will continue with our mission to liberate the rest of the world at another time. Everybody kind of solemnly cheers and begins to eat and talk and just kind of generally do that.
Can I go to what was the person's name? Poho?
Paho, yeah.
Poho. I go to them and I apologize for fighting as it was made in fear of the great Zamus. For my attacks on Poho in the arena. It was not my intention to hurt or harm. It was just in fear of Zamus's great power and size. And
okay, is like honest talk here? Is that the truth or is that a lie?
No, it's truth.
Okay, cool. I just want to make sure. So she looks at you and she says, "It's no worry. We've all had to do really horrible things underneath their power. So hopefully you won't have to worry about that ever again. But everything's forgiven. No worries.
Can I suddenly appear?
I'm sorry.
Can I suddenly, pop my head in and say, what horrible things?
Sure.
James, do you want to ask out Poho?
Can I approach her and say, why, I've not seen many beautiful women around here, and maybe someone more smoothly than this. I use my charm to.
Please tell me your charm is like -2 or something.
I use my charm to butter her up. That's what I want to do.
Okay. What do you? Okay. First off, do you? Is the first thing you say when you approach her, what horrible things, and then you say that?
No, I say, hey. How's it going?
Hey.
What's your bank account?
Oh, James, how did you screw that up?
I don't know.
Hey, what's your bank interest?
Okay. So.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm just joking. I'm not going to intervene. I'm still walking around, eating the food, but also listening for anything that might interest me. But nothing has thus far about power.
Yeah. So, I guess roll a perception check, James.
Why
so-
7?
So then, Tom, so then she kind of looks to you and she says, I am glad that you're on our side now. It's always a pleasure to have somebody with such a powerful companion to be able to help us in this kind of fight.
It must have been the trunk.
Yeah, you're probably right.
The money trunk. Wait.
All right, so then, James, what did you roll?
I rolled a 12, which -1, it's 11.
Okay. So you start to listen around, and you don't really hear anything in particular. People are just kind of talking about either people that they lost, or talking about how happy they are that the battle went well. It doesn't seem like anything in particular that you're interested in. The one thing you do notice is that the other humanoid that helped Paho, even though he walked into the center with Paho, then proceeded to just kind of wander back out of the center without saying anything, and is now just kind of sitting away from everybody else, but with the 4 large animals that helped to take down Zamhus.
Can I approach that person?
Sure. So as you approach, all the animals kind of look up at you, and he also looks up at you, and you can see that he's tearing into meat right now, and you can see his extremely large, extremely sharp teeth again. And he kind of just looks at you and doesn't say anything.
Hey, I saw what you did back there. That was pretty cool. What's your name?
He looks and he says, "Weren't you that crazy person who was up on the balcony earlier?"
Oh, I'm a little eccentric, they say, but I actually really love animals. I see you have really good animals. It's actually a passion of mine. Don't worry what I did before. I was under the influence, sorry.
Okay, roll a bluff check.
I get a 10, which +6 becomes 16.
How have you got so much bluff?
Oh no! All right.
We put 3 points into bluff plus his 3 for charisma.
So he's just some lying charmer.
All right. So you say that, and he suddenly looks angry.
Oh no.
And he's like,
Oh, no.
wait a minute. So he says, wait a minute. So, and then he pauses, and then the angry look goes away, and he says, would you mind coming with me to meet, the almost the backbone of this entire group?
Don't you want to break ice a little bit more first?
Break ice more?
You know?
There's no
Get to know
ice.
each other a bit better?
Oh,
Icebreaker.
all right. Why?
I don't know. You just seem like a really cool guy.
Okay. But that seems to not have anything to do with talking to the leader of the operations, because they have important things to maybe discuss with you.
Why me?
Because you seem to, because of the weird outburst you had earlier. What was that?
Did you do that in universe?
Yeah.
So at this point,
James, I'm really concerned about you.
So at this point, he kind of just puts his hand on your shoulder, and he's like, come on, let's take a walk.
Okay.
Okay.
So you start going with him. He leads you to a structure and leads you inside. And inside is a very scrawny looking, kind of disheveled looking human, and they kind of like get startled when you come in and throw their food all over the place. And the guy who led you in says, don't worry, Mendeltine, it's just me. And the human, who seems to be named Mendeltine, then says, hi, sorry, you startled me. I wasn't expecting anyone to come in. Who's this? And he says, he seems to have been afflicted by the dragons. Do you think you could look at him? And he says, oh yeah, no problem at all. So he says, here, would you mind just lying down on this for a second? And it's like a big bed, it seems, that has a lot of furs and stuff laid out on it. It seems like it'd be pretty comfortable.
I suppose I follow his instructions, but I take off my robes whilst he asks me, and I guess assume a prone position on the bed.
Okay. So he says, oh, well, I mean, you didn't have to take your clothes off, but I guess you could do that if you want. So you do that, and after he says that, he looks over concerned to the guy who brought you in, and the guy looks concerned back and kind of nods and looks at you. So he then pulls out some kind of plants and herbs and other things, and starts putting some things on your head, and eventually, let's see. Hang on one second. I gotta remember exactly what things he can do. It's been a little bit. Where are you? There we go. Okay, so then he then takes out a really big mushroom and slaps it in your face really aggressively, and some like yellow spores come out of the mushroom and just cover your whole face. Do you do anything in particular in response to this?
I jump up I do a pirouette and I ask, "What's going on here?"
You try to move and you realize you can't move anymore.
Ah, no! God damn it.
Can I speak?
If you want to, you can try.
I try to yell out, "Hey, what are you doing to me?"
You are able to say that. And Mendeltine just says, "Oh, don't worry. I just need to make sure that you, are, that your, mind is okay, because the dragons can sometimes, do some weird things like that, and it seems like you're, something's a little not correct right now." So then he takes out another mushroom and he says, "Okay, so you're gonna eat this. It's gonna taste pretty bad, but that's why you can't move. So you'll just have to swallow it." So he opens up your mouth and shoves the mushroom in your mouth. Makes you kind of chew it up, and then like shoves it down your throat. Luckily, you can't feel any of this, which is kind of a strange feeling, but you seem to be completely numb right now. So then he says, "Okay, so you'll just stay here for the night, and we'll just talk to you in the morning. So sleep well." And he pulls out some like seeds and throws them in your face, and then you basically immediately fall asleep.
I can't even do a cartwheel around the bed.
No, you can't move.
You really should have put some
You-
points into acrobatics.
You could do a pencil cartwheel.
Okay, so now that James is asleep, Nick and Tom, is there anything you guys want to do?
Yes, I want to talk to Paho.
Okay, what do you want to say?
Do I know Paho's name is Paho?
Yeah, because you heard her name announced, and you heard it outside when they were talking. So yeah.
I ran up to Paho and I'm like, "Hello, Paho. I'm Julian.
Hello, Julian. How are you?
I'm so excited to meet you.
Oh, well, why is that?
I am a element bender just like you.
Oh,
I bend wind. I'm from the clouds.
oh, you're from the clouds. That's really cool. I've never actually gotten to meet any of your people before. It's a great honor.
Oh, I'm really touched. Usually we stay up there and we don't come down.
Yeah.
So I'm not very good at the moment. I was wondering if you'd be able to train me.
Well, I'll be honest. I could teach you about firebending, but I probably know less than you do at windbending. But if you'd like me to teach you firebending, I can do that. It would be different than what you're used to, for sure.
I don't know if I've got it in me to learn firebending. Do you know anywhere I could go to learn windbending?
Well, if that's something you want to do, we could certainly incorporate that. Let's see. Would you? So I know that you've joined us here, and we weren't going to talk about this until tomorrow because we're going to let everybody rest. But for all the people that we rescued from there, we were going to ask you guys if you wanted to join our cause. And if you wanted, we could make an arrangement for you to be able to go to Africa, where you can meet some of the masters of element bending. And then maybe you could find some windbenders there who could teach you more advanced bending. And as part of your mission, you could take, a few weeks or something to go and find some of them and work with them. Would that be something you'd want to do?
Sounds amazing.
Okay, well then, yeah, we can definitely make that happen. And I saw that you were fighting with that person who was fighting with me in the arena. Are the two of you friends?
We actually just met today, but I think we're going to be besties.
Well, that's good. I'm glad that you guys are getting along well.
James. You popped out of sleep with some mushrooms in your throat.
Yep. That's not much different than James' usual workday, though.
I like those mushrooms.
Nah.
Okay, so Yeah. Is there anything else you want to talk to her about?
No, I'm good.
Nah, nothing else from me.
Yeah. Anything else for you?
Nah, nothing else from me.
Could ask more about the mission and stuff, but if that's going to happen tomorrow, then I'll just leave it for tomorrow.
All right. So then you guys all go to sleep. And they give you guys like places, like shelters and beds to sleep in. And you guys do that. You fill up on food. I don't think any of you guys. No. James and Winnie got injured. Oh yeah, Winnie's being useless and just watched you fall asleep. By the way. Okay, so you guys sleep through the night. Everybody's wounds heal. Tim, you and Winnie heal up all the way.
That's good.
And yeah, so you guys now wake up the next morning. You get up and there's some breakfast. You guys go and eat some food. Whatever kind of food you want is there. They're limiting the amount of meat right now, but there's like lots of fruits and vegetables and insects and stuff like that if you want to eat that. So James, you wake up and Winnie is curled up on top of you, just like asleep happily, and because you're quite strong, it doesn't hurt you too much, but you get up. And Mendeltine is awake next to you, and he says, hello. How are you feeling this morning?
Got a bit of a headache, but I guess I don't feel any different. How are you?
I'm pretty good. I didn't get my mind all messed up by the dragons or anything, so I'm feeling pretty good. Let's see. So just a quick question. Do you like dragons?
No, they kind of seem pretty shitty to me.
Okay. Now, is that a lie or is that the truth?
Yes.
Lie.
Yes.
What do you mean yes? Is it a lie or is it the truth?
Come on, James.
Okay. All right. Fine. I still don't really understand what's going on here, but I need to know more about these dragons. And without knowing why things are as they are, I don't know which side I should be on. Does that make sense? Because I'm not really from this world, you see.
I'm so confused.
Wait, you're not from this world? What do you mean?
Yes. I don't think so. In my world, we don't have dragons. Or I've never seen one at least. And we have many people organized into great towns, like 100 villages combined into one town. And we also have lots of entertainment options. Here, your world is strange. There's magic and fire bending, all that jazz. I don't really understand what's going on. I don't know how to get home, but I sure would like to know a bit more about this world, because I don't know what to do right now.
He then takes out a mushroom from a pocket and smashes it in your face. So do you do anything in response to that?
Can I say, why did you do that?
Yes, so you say that. You also notice that you can still move, so it didn't seem to be the same mushroom. And also, this one didn't shoot spores all over you, it just kind of mashed against your face. So he says,
cool.
oh, well, that was just something to make sure that you're telling the truth. So did everything you say, was that truthful?
Yes.
Wow. Weird. So either your mind is completely fucked, or you're telling the truth and you're from some other place.
Yes.
This is very interesting. I'll have to. You know what? I'll have to send you to some other people who might be able to help you with this.
He's gonna end up in the psych hospital.
Psychiatric ward.
Immediately, can I start doing the Can I start doing the dance from what's that?
Whatnot? What dance?
Oh,
Rickroll. Dance on Rickroll.
I can't understand you.
He's gonna rickroll him.
Hang on.
And I guess, yeah, you're
Rickroll.
from the 90s, so I guess you technically would know what that is still. Okay, so you start doing that, and he's just like, what are you doing?
Oh, this is just a little bit of a celebratory dance that my people do when we're very happy. I hope you understand.
Oh, well, good.
I'm
I'm glad
looking
you're
what a
happy.
rickroll is. I didn't know what it was.
He says, okay, well, would you be willing to go to these people and try to get some help? Because if you are from another world, it's probably pretty alarming, especially a place where there's no magic or bending. Like, that seems like a very different place, and this probably is pretty confusing if that's the case.
In my world, dragons are merely myths of legend. I really need to know more about your world, and I want to know the mechanics behind this magic. So yes, count me interested.
Okay, well, I'll start doing my own research into this, and I'm going to send you to Africa, because I'm pretty sure there's some people there who can help you with this.
I don't think I want to go to Africa. Africa's a shithole.
come.
Wait, have you
Maybe-
have you been to Africa before?
Yeah, I mean, in my earthly life, yes, but typically, the Western nations is where it's at. Do you understand what I'm saying?
But it's okay. That's
This is
interesting.
just one racist video.
But the thing is, Africa could be very different here than it is where you're from, right? Because if you're from another world, then it might be completely different.
I suppose I don't have a choice, do I?
Come to Africa with us.
Well,
No.
I mean, you do technically have a
I
choice.
choose to
It's
go of
just
my own volition with you.
I mean, you do have a choice. It's just that, I'm trying to be helpful. If this is all true, then it means you're from another place, and that's really incredible.
I want this to be true. If you can guarantee that little boy comes with me, do you remember that wind bender?
You don't know about the windbender. You don't know about the windbender.
Yeah, you've never seen him.
I mean, that handsome the handsome, what is he?
I'm a Denocephant. I think.
But
Tom's
okay,
name.
you still haven't seen him.
Neanderthal.
You've like seen him in
Okay.
passing, but I don't think
Forget
you know
it.
who he is.
I'm going with you because that's the only lead I have currently to know how to become the super dragon.
To become what?
A super dragon.
Okay. So he says, all right, well, yeah, I think, I'm pretty sure that, that there's a group going to Africa already, so you can just go with them, so it'll work out.
You didn't collect the Dragon Balls.
Where's the Dragon Balls?
I'm just gonna say, anatomically, they don't have that, so I don't think you need to worry about that.
Well, in my world, we see things scientifically, and there's no way new dragons can appear if they don't have balls.
Okay, okay, I said that as the DM, not Mendelty.
Okay,
Sorry for the interruption.
we're going to Africa. I'm happy to go with them. I need to know more about the world and
Okay.
how to gain power that I desire.
Alright,
Power.
sounds good. Alright, so then, I will do research, you'll go do that, and I don't know, when you come back, then, we'll just talk about that some more. So, yeah, you go out, have some breakfast, and, yeah, I'll just talk to you at some point in the future, yeah.
I guess we will be talking next time, won't we?
Yeah.
And then I walk off.
That's really sexualized.
Alright, so then you leave, and, yeah, everybody has breakfast, and, let's see, Nick, do you tell Tom about going to Africa at all?
Yep. I'll tell him everything that I spoke about with Tahoe.
Oh, yes.
And I asked for Tom's advice.
Oh, that's for me. I think you should seek what you are longing for. I'm happy to guide you and come with you on this incredible adventure to help you learn more about the wind bending abilities.
That is everything I long for. To have you accompany me to my goals.
That's right. I'll bring the trunk.
So then you guys wake up, do that. So eventually, Paho asks everybody to gather around so she can talk with them. And so she says, also the humanoid who helped her fight, is standing with her. Oh, and I should have mentioned this, James. So so remember when you went across the ocean and the Draken got help from those strange people, those strange humanoids that had like kind of bluish gray skin and webbed feet?
Yes.
So
Yes.
the guy that you talked to with the weird teeth is one of those humanoids. So he's a Marin.
That's why he's a weirdo.
That's why what?
Got you. That's why he's a weirdo.
A what?
Weirdo.
Oh, weirdo. I mean, no,
Yeah.
because the guy that you traveled with was
weirdo.
just kind of normal.
Weirdo.
He seems just to be weird in and of himself. Also, his teeth. You do remember that the Marins have sharp teeth, but not like that. His teeth seem to be different.
I see. So he's a little bit abnormal even for a Marin.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, I forgot to mention that. I don't think the two of you I don't think the others have seen a Marin before, so I don't think you know really what that is before you've seen him. But yeah. So, you guys, do you guys all gather around when Paho asks everyone to do so?
Of course.
I do.
So she says, all right, everyone, so we're happy to just rescue you and let you all go back to your lives, if that's what you want to do. However, this group that we've created is a group who is going against the dragons right now. So our group, we have named ourselves the dangerous or tenacious humanoids against scaly superiors. She looks like she's trying to remember all the words as she's looking back to the Marin, and he kind of nods and like affirms that she says that right.
What was it called?
The dangerous or tenacious humanoids against scaly superiors. Or, short, DOTH ASS.
Excellent.
So she says, so...
Dot has or doth ass?
DOTH ASS. DOTH ASS. So she says, so our group is dedicated to taking down the oppressive dragons that have been killing us, subjugating us, and tormenting us for pretty much our entire existence. We never did anything to them, and they treat us terribly. And now we know that we are able to kill them, even the strongest among them. So we are asking if anybody wants to help us in our struggle against them. We would really appreciate the help. But for anyone who does not and wishes to just go back to wherever they were before, they're welcome to do that. for those who may want to go back, I just want to tell you my story, because I lived in North America. I lived in a group where we dug underground and we harvested fine rocks to make jewelry out of to sell to people. And dragons crave certain of these rocks. And when we found a large amount of them and began selling them, the dragons came and stole everything we had and killed the vast majority of my group. My entire direct family was all killed in the event, and I swore from that day that I would do everything I could to try and fight these dragons. So I eventually made my way to Africa, learned firebending from some of the greatest benders that live there, and I've then met Carcharodon here, and he has a similar story where his entire group was massacred by the dragons, and he was the lone survivor. And so we decided to make this group to try to fight the dragons, to be able to not have to live in fear of them, and to be able to take the places that we want back from them and to be in our own homes. So if anybody wishes to fight with us to try to save the rest of anyone else that they might care about, their group, their family, we would encourage you to help us fight against them. And for those who wish to just go back, we completely understand, and we hope that you have a safe journey back. So we'll give you all some time to think about it. For any who wish to help us, we'll just be over here and you can come talk to us. I know that I've talked to a few people already, so if you wish to come over sooner, you're welcome to do that. So she, and now that you know Carcharodon, walk over to a little area and kind of stand over in that area, waiting for people to come over. A handful of people shuffle over to them, and basically everybody else keeps talking. So what did the three of you do?
I go over to the group.
Same.
I also join the group.
Okay, so you go over to Paho, and she looks at all of you and says, great, I'm very appreciative that you're all going to try to help. So I know Mendeltine talked to me, and he said that your name was Hugh, right?
Call me Homo, but thank you.
Okay, Homo. So, Homo, if you want to, so he said that you would want to go to Africa to try to talk to some people about your predicament. I wasn't exactly sure what was happening, but that would be the best thing for you. Is that correct?
I believe that is where the magic is to be learned. Am I right?
Well, not magic per se. Magic would kind of be in a different area, but he said that with your particular predicament that some of his mentors might be a little more knowledgeable about what's happening to you, saying that you're from another world or something.
Well, I suppose this would be the best option for me, wouldn't it?
If that's what you're going for, then I'd probably say that's probably the best place. I mean, Mendeltine is the smartest person I know, and if his mentors live in Africa, then and they might know about this better than he does, then it's probably the best option, yeah.
Take me there, then.
Okay, well, this works out because, Julian, was it? So Julian wanted to go to Africa as well, to talk to, windbenders that are there. So would the two of you be okay going in a group together to do that?
Hold on just a second. I need my bay with me.
Well, it wouldn't just be the two of you. I was just making sure that the two of you were okay with that.
Okay, as long as I get to bring bay.
And Homo?
Homo can come too. I don't know Homo.
You will.
I'm happy for Homo to come, but I want to bring bay.
Okay. And then, what was your name, actually? I didn't catch it. She gestures to you, Tom.
Noodlet.
Alright, Noodlet, well, and you, would you be okay going to Africa as well?
I'd love to go to Africa. with these beautiful, interesting specimen.
All right. Well, we'll talk to the rest of the people here and see if anybody else would be going with you. Other than that, the three of you can, if you haven't gotten to know each other, you might want to get to know each other for a little bit. And then we'll let you know if anybody else will be accompanying you. Otherwise, we'll send you off where we need you to go. And yeah, we thank you very much for helping us with this.
I have a question. Whereabouts in Africa are we going?
Well, you'll be going to 2 different places. Well, I guess 3 different places, because you'll want to go to find the Windbenders. You'll want to go and find Mendeltein's mentors. And then we'll also have a mission for you to go do to help with fighting against the dragons. So there'll be 3 different places you'll be going there. It'll probably take a few months to do, or a few moon cycles to do.
One of those places, Angola.
I'm not familiar with that place, so I don't know.
What about
Can
South
we meet
Africa?
Jandira on this mission?
Wait, what?
Does Jandira exist in this universe?
No, Jandira does not exist in this universe.
Okay.
Is she not the Queen of Africa?
Is she not the one that us people want to speak to? The master?
Okay,
No.
what about Master Senpai? I mean, Pasta Senpai. Does he exist?
Who is that?
Martin Senpai, the guy who comes on to the Julian on Dima show and basically pulls out the cucumbers and the carrots.
I don't think anybody who's in our world is alive at this point.
Okay.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, so yeah.
Go on.
But yeah, so we'll let you know exactly where you're gonna be going. Yeah. It'll be like 3 different places. So yeah, okay, so then they talk to a number of other people it takes a few hours to kind of get through everybody, but in the end, Paho then comes to you and says, alright, so it does look like the 3 of you will be going as a group, because it doesn't look like there's anyone else who fits into the same locations that you guys will be going to. Is that okay with the 3 of you?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, then, so, Carcardon will give you the exact places that you need to go, and, you can head off whenever you're ready. So you guys go over to Carcardon, and, he kind of shows you, generally where to go, and he says, that he kind of says that like the direction that you guys will need to go, and that you'll eventually reach an ocean, and when you get to that ocean, there should be people who can help direct you to where you need to go from there. So yeah, is there anything you guys want to do before you head out?
Get to know the other person for the 3 group, I reckon, because we don't know anything about Hugh.
Okay, go for it.
Like, so your name's Hugh, isn't it?
Well, my friends call me Homo, but for now you can call me Hugh.
So Hugh, tell me a little bit about yourself.
Oh, I'm just a gay porn star from a different universe. Nothing much to say, really. And yourself? What's your name?
My name's Noodlet.
Noodlet.
I'm from the known as the Cold Land, where hence why pale skin and lack of sunlight. I'm quite pale, and this is my companion Furchless. We've been together forever.
So cute. Do you come from a cold place?
Cold place known as the Cold Land.
Mm.
You're probably not familiar with that. Whereabouts did you say you were from?
I'm from North America, actually.
So you're
Let's say I'm from San Francisco.
So you're from
And I frequent the nightlife there every day.
So you're
every
from
night.
Earth then?
Well, I am from Earth.
but not Euros.
So, are you familiar with the places known as Greenland and Antarctica, of those sorts of climates?
I know of the Antarctica, that's for sure.
So, pretty much my home is as cold as the so-called place you know as Antarctica. But
see.
there is very little sunlight, and we do not get vitamin D exposure.
You don't know what vitamin D is.
I know what vitamin D is.
I know what vitamin D is.
Your
This is
characters don't know it.
Paleolithic.
Like the two.
I know all about.
Do you have many video games down in Antarctica?
No, I don't. We don't. We just sell fish and.
I can show you what a video game looks like.
Can you? I look forward to learning more about you as we journey together.
I look forward to learning more about you, of you, within you, outside of you too. And how about you, little boy? Where's your mummy and daddy?
I have a mummy and daddy. Nobody
No.
tells me what to do. I came from the clouds. My people kicked me out. So it's too good for them.
Oh. So you don't
Super
have
bad.
anyone
I don't
looking
have
after you?
a parental guardian.
What
You
a
don't
shame.
have someone you look up to.
I don't have anyone to sign my consent forms for me.
I guess
Well
you just
then.
need a daddy.
I can be
That's
the
so
role
true.
of your daddy. How would you feel about two daddies?
I think we can make this work. This will be a very interesting trip.
Okay, cool. All right, so you guys can have further conversations in the future, but I just kind of want to wrap up the session here.
Oh yes.
So you guys head off. You guys have a lot of supplies, so you'll be okay for a while. Let's see. Yeah, so you guys start walking, yeah, you guys go for maybe a few days, and you don't really see anything in particular. But then, I'd say everybody roll perception.
I have a 19 plus 8, 27.
Okay, cool.
I roll a 2. Minus 1 is a 1.
15.
15? Okay. Everybody, except for Hugh, sees two very, very large, hairy, orange creatures, lumber through the forest, out and, kind of get in your path. They don't seem to notice you until they're very close, and then they suddenly become very startled. They seem to be, would any of you... Yeah, so you guys have seen, all of you have seen creatures like this. Nick, this looks most to you like a really, really big monkey.
Oh, it's an
Tim-
orangutan.
Just really, really big.
Yeah.
This thing's probably like 3 meters tall. And then James, it looks a lot like an orangutan to you, and
Yeah.
Tom, it looks a lot like yetis that you would have seen. But orange. So they seem very startled. They bare their teeth at you. And you all seem like it's probably going to have to get in a fight. And as you're doing that, you see something fly by all of you, strike the animals, and then fly back. You turn back to see a creature that you've never seen before. It looks to be a weird hybrid of a lizard and a human. And,
It's Obama.
No, it's not Obama. With that, we will stop for now, and continue next time. So, that was the end of the first session. I'm very excited to see where this campaign goes, and I hope you all enjoyed listening. I will continue to upload these as we make them, and I have time to edit them. We have sessions around once a month, so expect videos on this also around once a month. And if anyone wants to see more detail on the classes, species, world, or anything else, just comment and I'll try to figure out a way to show those off. Also, big thanks to my friends Nick, Tom, and James for playing this with me, and for working with me to get this thing set up. I'm so excited to keep playing with you guys. Finally, a big thanks to my lovely spouse for helping me come up with a lot of the concepts and ideas of this campaign. I love you a lot, honey. Well, until next time, thank you all for watching, and have a great, great life, everyone.